So I was telling him, oh, hey guys. But I was telling Penrose that like these like episode ones are kind of weird because we like are bi-weekly. So I just like, I hate that it took so long for us to do this, but
I think if we do another one like this, we're just going to have to suck it up and go
week.
Back to back, yeah.
Yeah. So as long as we can agree on that, then that's cool. Hey guys.
Okay. You guys just got to see a little bit of the back room talk.
Yeah. We were talking about white people getting choked out and people not being persecuted for it earlier, but that's just some local Vegas stuff. So Oh, speaking of like random Vegas shit, because I'm like, I don't think it's not a big enough story for me to like tell on my show or nothing, but I could tell y'all because I think it's weird. This dude wrote an article solely based on a conversation that he had with a dude on an airplane with no luggage on their way to Vegas here.
Okay.
And basically, I don't like white people banter, but basically the chunk of it is that when they were getting off the plane, the dude didn't have any luggage. And so the guy asked him, he was like, "Yo, you didn't bring anything?" And he's like, "No, I'm just coming to like everything that I need. I'm hoping I'll just be able to win money to get it." Like that is not a philosophy. Like nigga, and then like a light bulb clicks on my ear and my ears and my fucking head, and I fucking thought that like that's how so many people like fucking homeless people are here.
Yeah.
Like
off top.
But why would you just
maybe wherever
are you like
running from is that bad?
Can you see through cards though? Like you can see like you can make a machine like just be like cherry. Like how do you just be like I don't have no toothbrush yet, but by the time I need one, I'm gonna have it. Like, listen, I believe in manifesting. Like,
that nigga running.
I mean, he seemed as if he was trying to get back. He like to get the stuff that he needs. Like, so he had a one-way ticket and nothing else in the clothes that he had on. And I guess whatever. I mean, I assume he had to have a pocket full of something because like you can't.
That nigga came from the future. He came from 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That nigga knows.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have to have had some type of like insight on what you about to get into before you about to get into it. So you either gonna be in jail or like homeless. Like I'm gonna send you guys the article.
What you have to wonder is where is his people like y'all? If I was to for real call y'all, like, listen, I'm taking this one-way ticket to Vegas. I ain't got shit with me.
Like, be like, Chris, meet him at the fucking airport. Like, meet him at the terminal. This nigga's right. Like, meet him at the terminal and put him. Do you need? I'd be like, Chris, I'm finna Zelle you some money to buy this nigga a ticket at the terminal when he gets off the plane. Meet him with the authorities and put him back on the fucking plane. He has lost his fucking mind. Put him back on the plane. Or take his money and buy him a toothbrush and some underwear. And like we have to stop. If he's determined to stay, buy him the cheapest ticket home possible, and then buy him a toothbrush, some underwear, and just say the rest is up to you and God. I have done my part, and that's it. You know, we can get home and he can wash his ass and brush his teeth. That's the best I can do.
If it's a Friday, I'll be like, all right, my nigga, like let's go. Like, but like Sunday evening, like after dinner, I'm looking at you like, so
nigga, you
your shit, like what's happening? Like it's always feel very like I get anxious about everything, but I always feel so anxious when people buy one-way tickets. I'm like, what's wrong? Like
what are you running
all
from?
your stuff is there. Like all your stuff
the only
there.
reason you buy a one-way ticket is if you are just kind of unsure about when you are coming home, but you have the money for a ticket. Like you
it'd be that.
I have an idea. Because I mean, I know some place, you know, which is kind of stupid now because most airlines will let you just change the date.
The date.
But I know people that have done that. They planned to go somewhere and did not know how long they were going to be there, whether it be family shit or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so they took like an extended leave from work or something like that. So they bought a ticket home when they finally got ready to go. But just to go to Vegas,
he like very confidently basically said, I'm hoping, I guess that's not confident, is it? If he's saying hoping, but I'm hoping that I'll just be able to win so that I can get the things that I need. I was like, ooh.
That's giving me anxiety. Like it's not enough wine in this glass. He making like, my anxiety high. Like, sir, I hope you.
It's true.
Somebody check on him. Make sure he's not at the bus station sleeping because
he might end up being in a movie.
It might end up being a movie, but like it's a short ass movie if it don't go the way you want it to go.
Maybe he got some family or something there, but that's a lot of white ass audacity because my black ass
is.
My black ass would never. I'm gonna just go and just hope I'm able to win the money to get home. Like I don't even go on dates with niggas without having money to get home. Like,
do you hear what I'm saying?
Like, I wouldn't go out to
also money to pay for my food if he said tripping. Like I'm like,
yeah.
I had a friend that woke me up at 3 o'clock in the morning in college, and I had to go bring her money because a date ditched her at one of those late night Chinese spots.
See,
he had no money for a cab. He picked her up and literally just like excused himself to go to the bathroom and just never came back and left that girl there with check and everything, and she did not have a dime the fuck on.
See,
she didn't even have payphone money. This bitch called me from the restaurant's phone.
Stop it!
Wow.
Stop.
Who's her mother? Because somebody didn't teach her right. What are we talking
the grandmas
about?
are not praying for these children anymore. Like
listen, I don't.
I can't even imagine being like
going to another state.
I got $70 to buy a one-way ticket. I'll figure it out when I get ready to come home.
Not like I'm gonna go to Vegas and try to find a job. This nigga's going straight to this crap table
with $50.
With $50, and he's planning on slowly winning his toothbrush, his draws, and then eventually his return ticket.
Fucking return ticket. That nigga is about to get a crib, a car.
He not. Oh my god.
Yo, no. I don't mean to sound racist, and especially in the social climate that we're in, but one thing I've learned going to Vegas multiple times, if you're ever on the motherfucking card table, 21, and the dealer, they switch dealers in the middle, and it's an Asian person, leave. You are going to lose all your money.
I'm tired of you.
Okay.
All of it.
Most of them, honestly, I feel like a lot of them are Asian.
Yeah, listen, every time I go to Vegas,
I don't play enough to be like if I win or don't win from them.
Nah, so. I feel you. Nah, every time I get an Asian, because I feel like they be switching. Like, this nigga hot right now.
So then that's when you supposed to
get the fuck up.
Right.
How I learned now.
If that's your superstition, that you believe in, then when you see it happening, what do you do? What do you do? I know you fold like in other games. What do you do when you're not playing for 21 no more? Like
you just get the fuck up from the
you gotta be like
you gotta walk out like it's church.
I'm out of here.
Bye.
Right.
Whatever you do. Bye.
last time I was there, I was like sitting at the table. It was like middle of the night and shit. Now, this wasn't the last time. It was time we went because I remember I was in a relationship. I was there with my girlfriend. But it was like the middle of the night and she was walking somewhere in the casino. And I was like, I'm going to stop right here and just play, blackjack real quick. So I'm playing. And I'm the only dude at that table. And as soon as they switched dealers, I was like, all right, I'm good. And I know that motherfucker had to be like, what the fuck is this about?
You don't want me to deal your cards? Racism.
Huh?
Racism, not in this climate, Penrose. We cannot accept that.
I don't feel like it's racist because I feel like they're sent by the casino as like money blockers, like they doing their job. It's not racist. I'm just saying.
Okay, so I guess we can start.
I don't know. I don't have any frame of reference.
I play the penny slots for the rum and cokes, the rum and pineapples.
And once I've lost $50, I politely get up, finish my drink, and get my ass the fuck out of there. That's it. That's all.
I feel you. It happens.
That's it. And if nothing else, I'm gonna make sure if I win money, whatever I win, if it's enough to buy gas and food, I cash out and put it in my goddamn purse.
Listen,
well, never catch me slipping. Never.
I'm the kind of person like I don't get like that's just not my thing. I don't do that. Like for me, I need like a pair of shoes or like something that I can like go and touch. Like when I wake up in the middle of the night.
Tangible benefits and
like,
gambling
is not.
Like I get the high if you're winning, but if you don't ever get on a streak, then it's just like I lost my money.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So maybe it's because I've never experienced that high of winning substantial enough money to continue to gamble.
If I
don't give enough money to win.
If I lose $100, I'm done.
Maybe that's it. I've just never spent enough to.
That's crazy because like I really don't fucking gamble, but like if I put $20 in, my nigga, if I'm down to that $1, like I'm leaving, like because you're not gonna take all of my money, motherfuckers. Like
I'm a gambler too, but you still gotta know when to walk away. Like I gamble, but fuck
my
that.
mama is a gambler.
Immediately, if I put in 20. If I put in 20 and I win $5, nigga, me and that $25, nigga, get out of here. I won.
My mom
celebration, bitches.
The year I turned 21, I played the penny slot. I won $100. I took them $100 out, told them, I'll see y'all later. I'm going back to the bank
to count my money.
my $100. And then the next day said, can you drop me off at the mall? Y'all have a good Saturday. They gambled all weekend. I didn't go back in that casino. Did not set one fucking foot back in there until it was time to get them to go home Sunday. I was like, I'm good. I don't get nothing free. I'm good.
It's a trap.
My mama got perfect attendance though. That lady got all kinds of phones and fucking credits and shit, free meals. They bringing lobsters out to the casino.
And I always tell mama here, y'all.
Listen, it just always this sounds crazy when you think about it, but like she's a gambler. And so I have vivid memories of like doing homework like at the casino because she would like go over, like because it's in the other states, in Louisiana. But it's like 2 hours from where we live. So I can remember like not having something going on after school, her driving over to the casino on like a Wednesday night, gambling and just like having free hotel rooms. So like sticking me in a hotel room with like free meals and like me doing my homework and like eating lobster and like watching these people's cable till she got ready to go.
Amazing.
And then we would drive home at like 2 a.m. and I would be back in time for school, sleepy as shit. Like she did all fucking time.
Basically, you were living the sweet life with Zach and Cody before Zach and Cody. Congratulations. You were Zach and Cody, bitch.
Zach and Cody in there.
Bitch, yes. You better eat that lobster. Okay,
yes. Let's get into this. I told y'all too much about my life. That's why I'm fucking weird. Chris was on Twitter, bitches is weird. And I was like, love me through it. Oh my God. You know my life, bitch.
Always know I'm never talking about you.
She was like, weird. And I was like, yes, I know. I thought we all knew. I thought we knew. And that's wrong.
What's good?
Tell everybody what's happening right now.
Right now, y'all geeking the fuck out.
Hi guys.
Hey guys.
This is all docked up. A podcast where we don't talk about podcasts and we don't talk shit about VJ every week. We don't. What up,
we
Stab?
Don't.
That's Young Stabbo.
What's up, Young Stabbo?
Stab didn't tell me how he got the nickname Stab. I recall that vividly.
Don't ask why.
Don't ask why.
Don't ask why.
Shout out to the grind boards.
No doubt. Shout out to my niggas.
All right.
What's up, everybody? This is All Docked Up. My name is Penrose. I got it right. That's Chris.
Hey, you did it.
That's VJ. Yo, if you never used StreamYard, the shit's backwards, all right? But this week, we are doing our second part of crime investigation, the vanishing at the Cecil.
Or crime scene.
Crime scene, yeah, whatever.
At the Cecil Hotel.
I mean, there was an investigation, but a lot of it wasn't at the Cecil Hotel, so I don't.
True shit.
It wasn't.
There wasn't a lot of investigating either, so.
Not really. If you guys watched the first episode about this, we did episodes 1 and 2. It's a 4-part episode documentary. So we are now discussing episodes 3 and 4. I'm kind of excited about this because I'm like the conspiracy theorist dude. I feel like every conspiracy that come across my table, I'm like, I can see the truth in it somewhere. You know what I mean? So that I was excited about episode 3 for sure. Episode 4 for me was kind of like, which actually, you know what? I got a bone to pick about 4 with not necessarily the episode, but we'll get
okay. Okay.
Let's get into it. I have things.
So it starts where we're just basically talking about the removal of her body because we end last episode of ours, and also the second episode ends where what's his name? Santiago Sancho.
What, the cop?
Where they find her body, and so now
Santiago Lopez.
Lopez. So that's where we are now. So they're removing the body from the tank.
Which I thought was interesting. They decided to just drain the water from the tank and then just kind of gently.
And like they said that her body floated down gently.
But they said the body was already decomposing though. So you might not want to try to pull it up. You know what I'm saying?
Which makes sense, but I think in my mind, I was like, they didn't mention taking like water samples or anything, and I'm like, y'all don't think y'all need to try to take some samples of the water or nothing? Y'all just
didn't check the tanks the first time, my baby. We cannot expect these people.
I mean, but we're talking about hotel guests though being like possibly contaminated as well with this water. So I think
I just feel like the CDC or somebody should have come and taken some water samples, but apparently, I'm NCISing it, and I think Gibbs. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking
the fingerprinting of the body is enough.
I don't think you're wrong in any way, shape, form, or fashion, especially seeing as what episode 3 was about. Cause
yeah.
Go
ahead. So what did we find?
Fingerprints. They said they didn't find anything. So
nothing.
No fingerprints. They couldn't find anything that anybody had touched her, anybody had done anything to her. They did a rape kit, found no foul play with the rape kit. They did a drug kit. They found nothing in her system other than a lack of the prescribed drugs that she was supposed to be taking.
Listen,
lack thereof.
So we'll kind of save that because that kind of
So there's a part.
The third episode is we get a lot of on-screen interviews with these YouTuber people, these journalists, web sleuth, incels, whatever the fuck you want to call them.
Weirdos.
Not all of them, but one in particular was definitely a weirdo.
Listen, and there's nothing wrong with being weird.
John.
I had him touch the grave because I couldn't touch it myself. The fuck did you just say to me?
It's like he knew her.
They are very invested in this case.
Between jobs.
Yeah, like it's very weird. Like I said, and again, we're not racist, but it's very white because there's some black people that were doing the YouTube videos too, but it is some very white shit to be like, I could have went and got a job, but instead I decided I couldn't sleep. Down the rabbit hole, as the episode is called, down a rabbit hole into the disappearance and death of some person I have never met a day in my life, instead of, I don't know, getting a job and paying my fucking rent. Like, it was very strange.
He is on like the very, very like extreme parts of the fucking web sleuth. Like web sleuth, like armchair detective kind of people. Because I guess in some way, shape, or form, we can consider ourselves to be those kind of people, kind of.
To a degree,
like, we don't like allow it to like take over our lives, and we usually don't care that much.
No, I'm not gonna get fired from my job tomorrow and be like, I don't need to pay rent. Let me become a YouTuber and just investigate.
But you know what?
I will say if a nigga gives us a check, we are going to wherever the fuck with a flashlight and 3 fucking phone cameras.
Yeah, but we're gonna do that after we have cash in hand and the check clears. Like, we're not going with the check still pending.
This is true.
But
this is true.
What if John was getting his rent paid for? Like, because it did make me think. We'll definitely get into the documentary for all the artists watching. But like, real shit, it did make me say, like, how did you have the means? Because in the length that it actually took
your house,
right? And that's what I'm saying. If you really think about the opening and closing of this case, it was really like 4 years before they really said something about what happened to that girl. And so, if you're a web sleuth and John was highly invested, like, damn, yo, daddy long bucks for real, because that nigga wasn't doing shit but fucking investigating this girl's life, right?
That's it.
But
yeah, he gets a little crazy, but
So
yes,
after they find
Cecil, like the
after they find the body, like basically that shit becomes a fucking hot spot, and niggas are out there with their fucking selfie sticks and showing that everybody's outside. This is where I'll be staying, like
running around the lobby and shit, playing
the
freeze
floor
tag.
that she was on. Motherfuckers wanted to go to the 14th floor.
They wanted to touch the elevator buttons and shit. They were on the roof. Like they were just doing a lot. But we do find out some interesting stuff. Like they find out, for one, they now have more security and cameras because these motherfuckers are roaming their hallways,
as they should be, and just freely going to the roof still.
Right,
like, that's
still trying to go to the room where Elisa stayed and shit. They had security around the room.
Yeah, it was a bunch of bullshit. They was doing a lot of shit they didn't have no business.
Basically.
And then we also find out that they're like dissecting this video they have of her. And so they figure out what is going on with the buttons, right? Because she pushes the entire row of buttons down the middle.
Right.
Everybody's like, oh, is it ghost? How come the door stayed open? Well, there's a door open button in the middle row in the bottom.
Right.
She stays open for 2 minutes.
Yeah, so the door stays open for 2 minutes. So that's one thing that was like the conspiracy that got refuted. Like she pushed the button, the door stayed open. Nobody was outside.
Probably right. When you like really dissect, like really break down what you're looking at in that elevator video, a lot of it for me, that the elevator door explanation took a lot of the creepiness out of it for me.
Yeah, wait. Nah. It only because I can't speak for you. You're right, go ahead.
Oh no, but I'm just saying it did for me. Like, and so like, and then as you continue to like get more information that we weren't getting as we were on the internet reading about this story, like as it was happening, as we get more of that information, like without knowing why the fucking door was open, makes the situation a little bit more palatable. Like, if that makes sense.
I think for me, it doesn't take the creepiness away because she had no idea why that door was staying open. So however the fuck she was reacting.
So you were feeling what she was feeling.
Yeah, that's still a real feeling.
The panic.
Yeah, regardless of the fact that we found out that she's the one that actually made the door stay open. You know what I'm saying? It's like for instance, no bullshit. I remember I was a kid and I was swinging on the clothesline and I fucking got stung by something. And I know I got stung by a wasp and I ran home and my stepmom was like, open your hand, open. And I refused to open my hand until I did and the wasp flew out. My point being is,
why didn't you want to open your hand?
Because I was just scared. It was like I didn't know I was holding it.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So my point is, she added to it, but that does not take away from the fact. You know what I mean? In that moment, she was definitely afraid. So
I hear you.
But they do some more surveillance. They find out that Elisa went to a bookstore. The last bookstore.
Right.
And that some guys follow her back, or some guys meet her at the hotel. What they find out is this isn't really a lead. The guys
they were delivering
books, right?
But she bought books. But then what we also find out is that because of the kind of, I guess, publicity of the case, they start getting all these calls, with tips, with people trying to help, quote unquote, help. Chris, I saw that eye roll. What is?
It's just like niggas just can't ever just like. Why do you have to take it so far? Like, do what you can in your space, but like when you're like calling people's fucking places of work with bullshit, like nigga, it's 10 people in front of me. Do not fucking have time for this, my nigga.
Right.
Like, call the cops. Have a good day. Like, I don't have time for this. Like,
yeah, I thought that was kind of strange. And then they were calling like the tip lines, and so they're clogging up the tip lines with bullshit, right? Like, well, I think this and this, and like all of it is conjecture. Like, you don't have any proof. You don't know this woman. You're not in LA. You're not at the Cecil Hotel. Like, you weren't there.
Right.
So it's just like, what compels a person to interject themselves into a case like that and call the fucking tip line when somebody could legit be calling for something important? Like, that's the part that blew me up. Like, if you want to investigate, that's fine, but this is not fucking Scooby-Doo. This is real life. Like, y'all can't. Like, y'all are not. The mystery machine is not pulling up for y'all to just go investigate shit because you just were there. Like,
but I think the creepiness around this case and the creepiness surrounding that hotel is what had so many people invested, because as we're watching, you find out that the Night Stalker lived at that hotel when he was on his murder spree. You find out about the guy that comes from Austria and is on a murder spree. So I feel like a lot of the creepiness that's associated with that hotel, and then because for all we know, just from what they were telling us about the hotel, until this happened, there was no major shit for a while. This is in the middle of Skid Row. They got the normal calls and this, that, and the third. But I think that's what really led to like so many people trying to be like, somebody wanted to be the person that had the answer. You know what I'm saying? What up, Tam? Gang, all day. Somebody wanted to be the person that had the answer, and I think that's what led to so many people like calling in with tips and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? But
like, That shit don't be helping.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I feel you.
And so I get being compelled to want to help, but I think there's a difference between compelled to want to help and maybe doing some research or being like, hey, I think maybe these notes I took could help or whatever. And then calling and being like, I think this happened. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't have any discernible proof that it happened, but let me talk to you about it for 45 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
Some people was just off the chain with the shit though. Like it was kind of stupid.
I think that my favorite conspiracy that came out. So basically, this is what fucking episode 3 is. It's a bunch of fucking random ass fucking shit that people think or assume or blah blah blah. Okay, cool. So okay, I don't want to. Okay, so probably the most interesting one for me was the dark water comparison. And I've never seen the movie, and I would love to watch the movie now. And I'm a super big fan of like Japanese horror films. So like I'm into watching this. Like, so basically Dark Water, the original one, premiered like the Japanese version 10 years before Elisa ever even thought about the fucking hotel. Right. Then in 2005, there was a remake with shout out to John C. Reilly, like with fucking Dewey Cox, nigga. Like, so 2005 is the fucking remake. And basically there's like a lot of like comparisons like to the actual story and Dark Water. Things like a little girl, red sweater or red hoodie or whatever, like red coat, whatever. And then also the weird elevator, like that was the elevator is a big part, I guess, of the movie.
The little girl fell in the water tank.
Little girl fell in the water tank. Same kind of thing.
Their water had turned black or whatever.
Their water turned black. It was a seedy apartment like / hotel they were moving into. Like a lot of fucking similarities. So a lot of web sleuths took it upon themselves. Sorry, Tamara.
gang. All day.
I just saw that. But so people took it upon themselves to like pull the comparisons and be like, is this somebody trying to recreate like their favorite movie or something like that? Right. And it's interesting. I don't really know how I can't like have a final verdict on it just because I haven't seen it, but the shit they were giving you. But that's the thing about motherfucking conspiracies and shit. They be giving you hella shit that should be like, oh, I want to believe this. I want to fucking believe it.
But if you think about it, if you take if that was your favorite conspiracy, then mine ties right behind yours. Okay. Because originally, we talked shit about them cops for not finding this girl's body. You went on the fucking roof. The dog loses the scent on the roof. Dogs lose scent in water. Nobody says, hey, nigga, it's like 4 water tanks right there. Nobody checks, right? 19 days, right? By the time you finally find this girl body, her body's decomposing. For all of you who have not watched this documentary, to me, this was my favorite part because I am the conspiracy nigga. Any conspiracy, I probably fucking believe it. Anyway. This woman's name is Elisa Lam. When she dies, her body decomposes in the water. People are drinking this water, bathing in this water, brushing their teeth with this water. A lot of the people that are on Skid Row, because this hotel is in the middle of Skid Row, live in this hotel. After this woman dies and they find her and they get her body and everything, an outbreak of tuberculosis sweeps across Skid Row. This woman's name is Elisa Lam. The test that's used to find that tuberculosis is impacting is the Lam-Elisa test. That, to me, had to be, and the reason it turned into, for it to me to be like, damn, what the fuck this, I ain't gonna front. I'm one of them dudes, when dude was like, what if she was like an agent that was put in here for this reason?
You believe that?
Listen, I'm I think I stretch
BJ face.
So for the containment shit to be real, and then this shit to happen, the name to be twisted, the last bookstore shit to be the fucking the address of the owner is the middle of the city, which is the grave where this girl is buried. The fuck are we talking about?
Okay,
that's way too much.
It seems crazy. It seems like I hear you, but it just seems so fucking crazy.
I mean, most shit that we most shit that's real is far-fetched. True life is stranger than fiction. Heart play with the weather every day, and we still refuse to believe it.
it was hella just hot and now it's cold.
The whole country was cold for a week.
Yeah.
Come on, man. But anyhow, that was my favorite conspiracy. I mean, they try to say that it can be disproved, and it can. I'm not saying that it's 100% true, but for that to be her
name, the test name,
yeah, the test name, and for tuberculosis to sweep across all the Skid Row right after they found her body, that shit threw me. Come on.
So, do you think that it was other Elisa Lambs in the city that were contaminating other portions? Because everybody on Skid Row didn't like live in the Cecil.
True shit. I'm just saying it's a possibility, like in the sense of anything.
Where those British people at? Ask them if they got that TB shit.
Right. Anything can happen. And then let's just say that her body decomposing is what spread tuberculosis, and she has nothing to do with any conspiracy. The fact that the name of that test just happened to be what it is fucking creepy as shit to me.
VJ, what do you think?
I put in my notes in capital letters with a block around it, lunatics, because they sound like a bunch of fucking lunatics. This lady died in the water tank. You think it gave everybody? That's not even how you fucking get TB.
It doesn't matter. Does not matter. Does not matter.
Those people got tuberculosis on Skid Row.
Wait, I'm gonna put myself in the middle. So I'm gonna put myself in the middle so it looks like a debate. Go.
It's not a debate. I don't even
listen.
The Lamb Lisa part was interesting, but again, it's just like okay.
Even if they didn't get tuberculosis from the water, that's all I'm saying. Just the fact that she was there and the shit was like that. You know what I'm saying?
The dark water thing was interesting, but I'm just like, so you mean to tell me somebody watched Dark Water, went to the Cecil and was like, you know what I'm gonna do? Find the one bitch in a red sweater. And
why not? And it's over for her.
And
it's over for her. That sounds.
Think about
the reasons. Her sweater's red.
Like
which serial killers have killed people for less. Ted Bundy was just wiping out the entire brunette population because some bitch turned him down 20 years ago. So I'm not saying it's impossible.
Right.
I'm just saying it's highly improbable that if you were going to be a murderer, you go to the Cecil of all places and be like,
yeah, that's the best place to go.
Well, I'm just saying, if your mind is like, I want to reenact Dark Water. Where can I go find somebody in a red sweater?
Yeah, I feel you. If you reenact Dark Water, but what if it was?
But what if he was like?
What if he was just? Or what if it was like all my life I've been wanting to recruit? Look at this little tiny bitch.
And when I was walking across the street, I saw 4 motherfucking water tanks up there. Like it is motherfucking over for her.
Lightning don't strike twice, bitch. We gotta go.
You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot to recreate Dark Water, nigga.
Do not miss your chance to blow. Okay,
you better looking ass. Look, I don't know.
That's terrible. She's dead.
All my life I had to fight. Hell yeah.
Listen, and the sad part is, like, you think like it sounds far-fetched, but people really
kill for dumbass reasons. Yeah.
So I mean, it's the dog laughing all day.
This is what I'm.
Like it.
People, listen. People kill for the silliest of reasons, man. And like, it could have been the niggas just. Go ahead.
The worst one was the ghost, though. They started talking about, I feel like a spirit compelled her to climb. Yeah. Okay.
Like listen.
Have ghosts ever made somebody do something?
No, the voices in their head make them do things. I've never.
Like, wouldn't the person have to be like possessed by it? Like, because demons possessed you, right? Like, ghosts don't possess you. So, like, a ghost could just be like.
I don't know.
Like, she's not 5. Like, a ghost could like pretend to be like trying to play with her. Like,
I don't know. Maybe she.
You ever seen the Haunted Hill House and the Bent Neck Lady? Hey,
so I don't know the ghost protocols for out here. So maybe the ghost out here, possessing the girls, and the girls is like, yeah, let's go get in the water tank for a sec. Maybe that's what it's giving.
Shit.
It's giving.
You remember the ghost?
It's a hot tub party upstairs. Like,
the ghost telling me the ghost making it look like
I got your VIP.
The ghost whispering saying you got to be in this communal room. If you come to the roof, I got a room you can have just like who knows what the fuck the ghost was. I don't know.
Listen,
maybe the ghost told her if you push all the buttons in the middle and then push the door off button and wait 2 minutes, I'll come out and talk to you. And then she stepped out the hallway and started doing her hands like this, and it was the ghost. I don't fucking know.
And he was like, to the hot tub party.
And she was like, you don't think I need my swimsuit, ghost? And he was like, no, come on.
No, I got it.
Listen, you know what fucked me up about the whole ghost theory is like, for one, yeah, okay, whatever, right? And unless it's like the paranormal ghost where the motherfucker stopped the little girl, like chin checked her and picked her up by her hair. Maybe it's that kind of ghost. But like,
wouldn't we have seen that?
Right.
Or did that happen around the corner out of the view of the video?
Out of the view of the people, exactly. When she walked that foot that they said was mysteriously there, we called it ghost foot, and you did not know that. What I'm saying is when them niggas tried to tell us that when they put a ghost theory, which is total bullshit, and then they hit us with the lid was back on the tank, right? Which is always the thing for me.
I am very conflicted with this because did he say in the first episodes if it was open or closed, or did he just say he went up there? I'd already watched it like 70 times. I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to go back either.
Figure out what he said, because I kept thinking the same thing. Like, if only somebody could magically rewind this, so I wouldn't have to watch it all, so I could figure out if that man said that tank was open or closed. But I think he just said that he climbed up there and found her. I don't know that he said either way. But I don't know.
I think if I vaguely remember, well, it is kind of vague. But I think he did say that lid was closed because that is what's in the police report. And then remember, which this was at the end, but just to talk about the ghost theory, the fact that dude was like, oh, the lid was open and we got conflicting reports. Like, how, bro? How you get... Now, this is my thing.
Because they're trying to say that the dude had said it was open. But they reported somebody wrote closed, I guess.
But even right, and that's cool. But even if so, when you niggas went up there, y'all didn't know if it was open or closed when y'all went up there?
No, because you know what they did. They sat, the tanks are this tall, they were this tall, and they were just walking around and just like calling her name. Like, because if again, we already talked about this.
The second time. I'm talking about when they actually went up there and dude said that the body was the, you know what I mean?
But because I feel like I remember him saying that he found her and then he closed the hatch and went back down to tell.
He said he left it. I thought he said he left it open.
And that's where it's confusing because I'm like, I don't remember exactly. Okay, we'll have to do a prologue.
Why would you have to
go back, figure out what he said?
In the sense of being a good human being, and this is why I say, fuck the manager. I don't really want to say fuck that old Mexican dude, but I don't know him, so fuck him. Like what? Because somebody in that hotel know what happened to this girl. Because you're not gonna tell me that. You say what?
He was the only person that was emotional about imagining the story.
He was drunk.
He did have fucking tears when he's fucking talking about how he found her.
Blood. That nigga had tears because he thought he was gonna get caught. Listen, that nigga and that white lady had something to do with that girl. Come on, man. Stop it. You're not gonna make me believe. Like, and again, I'm the super conspiracy dude. I damn near want to run with this tuberculosis shit. But as far as her actual
I think they all got their TB test and they're okay now. So I don't.
They might be.
I think they're okay.
Like we talked about it before. Okay, this lady gets this job. You're not really fucking qualified. You are worse manager than what the fuck you really think you are.
She was more concerned about how she was looking in that piece of shit ass hotel than. What was happening there?
And what was really happening, right? And so when we really break it down, man, dude said that he left that tank open when he went back downstairs to tell her. My thing about it is, in any human, like, you're not gonna make me believe that I'm gonna find a dead body in there and I'm for real just gonna leave that shit open. Like, you're gonna jump off. Something's gonna make, you know what I'm saying? Like the human.
You're gonna have a reaction.
Yes. You're not just going. He just walked in the office and was like, "Hey, what I found?" Nah, nigga.
I mean, but don't these people
find dead bodies all the time?
That's what I was gonna say. That's that's how we're introduced to the hotel.
Right. I don't think he expected to find one in the water tank, but if you're used to finding a dead body every 2 weeks, like, I'm not saying you certainly do kind of become a little bit desensitized, but I will say this: I do.
That's that fucking manager.
Rosamund Pike, yeah, that's her. Mm-hmm. But I will say that I think that maybe it because okay, so some people have this thing about modesty, right? And a lot of times what we see with like crimes is if someone is left uncovered or they're naked, then people do that thing where they automatically feel compelled to cover that person for modesty, even though they came across a naked body. So then they contaminate the crime scene because they want to cover this person because it's unseemly for them to be naked. Okay. So keep in mind, he opened. So if he opened the hatch or didn't, I'm not sure. But it is very possible that he found the hatch open, saw a naked lady floating in the water, and closed the hatch. Just not, not even.
No, he said he left it open. Or at least that's what
see. Okay, can we have to stop arguing about this because we don't fucking know. Okay. I don't know. I feel like he said he closed it back.
I thought he said he closed the hatch and went and told her. So if that is indeed what he said, my thought is maybe he saw a naked person and his immediate subconscious was, "Let me cover her." Well, the only thing he can cover her with is the hatch.
Well,
so he closed it and went back downstairs to tell. Now, I don't know why he ain't got no cell phone or no radio, but that's neither here nor there. I don't know what they got going at the
And listen,
because I saw 911 from the roof. Amy would have been the last bitch in the hotel to know.
Nigga, I would have hung off the side and been like, "Hey,
The police would have been down there telling Amy when I was telling her because I'd have called them from the roof and then been on my way down and been like, "Hey, girl, the police will be here in like 3 minutes."
It's
a dead body.
He went down there to talk to her about how to deal with the situation, and then they called her. Then she said it. I didn't even call the police first. I called my mother to tell my mother that they was
get ready for some shit.
Exactly.
Because she a messy bitch with fake pearls and a bad dye job. That's neither here nor there. She's just a messy bitch with a bad dye job. So
you mean to tell me in the year of our Lord 2013?
She called her mom every time they found her.
Probably did. You mean to tell me that in many professions I worked in the field. When you checking pressure, when you checking anything, there's always a way to do it, right? To then say if I need to do something else. So you mean to tell me, my nigga, that y'all having shitty water pressure, and the first thing you do is open the fucking tank?
That's not what he did. That's not what he did first.
He tried other shit first.
He went because no one reported it but those fucking people.
But those two people, right?
So they moved them around first. They moved them first.
After they moved them and they were still experiencing the same thing, he went up to their room, checked some shit, and then said...
I'm talking about when he first went to the roof. There has to be something on them fucking pipes that says, all right, this needs to be like, you know what I mean? That gives you reason to go open that shit and check it. You got to be able to check the pressure from the pipe, though. I get that they're old.
But I mean, that shit was made... And
like
when
it's one of those things, people have lived places where they have a super and they know the maintenance person don't know shit about maintenance.
True shit.
Like you supposed to be the maintenance person.
He was just trying to look and see if the water looked black.
Right. So every time something needs to be fixed, they gotta call somebody else because your maintenance person don't know how to fix shit. It's plenty of people who live places like that.
And then what body floats to the top after it's been dead that long?
Well, if the gases don't have anywhere to
I ain't never been dead, so
true shit.
She was at the part of decomposition where you start to build up gases, but she wasn't at the part where she popped.
That's what I was about to say because they didn't report her being bloated or nothing.
They said a little, but so I mean, and then you have to think about the weather, the temperature, and the water as well. So sometimes the gases will build up, but it's not enough gas because of the water temperature to make you explode like you would in like a room in August, like when they found the guy and he was purple.
Right. Facts.
So it's weird, but I agree. Like it's the floating is odd, but it could just be a buildup of gases. Who knows? But
yeah.
So the other conspiracy, the one that kind of leads us into episode 4, is about a gentleman named Morbid who does death metal, who's about murders and shit. And he apparently somebody watched it. We've never been dead, damn. Never.
I've never done it. I don't know, so I can't say for sure. I don't know what my body might do.
When it happens, I'll come back and report. Definitely.
I'll let you guys know.
We'll all float right over your bed, Tam, and we'll come and tell you everything that happens to our bodies.
So this is off topic, but Chris, remember when we were watching Unsolved Mysteries and you made that joke about how all the ghosts never like show up wearing regular fucking clothes?
Yeah.
I feel like that would be us. Like we would be ghosts. Yes. We would have
I'm coming with ripped jeans. I'm coming with ripped jeans.
We had to have like the white robes, but then we would have like regular clothes underneath and like black forces.
Yes, obviously black forces because I'm here to haunt. Like
we're here for mischief.
I'm here for hella mischief, okay?
We're here for
hella mischief.
You gotta wear your black.
Can I just show up? Can I just show up late shaking chains?
Yes, if you want to be the old fucking Ghost of Christmas Past nigga,
exactly.
You can be
But I'm coming in gray sweats and my podcast nigga. Black hoodie, nigga.
I'm coming with my favorite nails. Like I'm like, this is me, like still. Like y'all gonna think it's me. It's gonna be like a hologram. I'm gonna start figure out how to get paid for being a hologram, like when I get watched. Anyway, so
but yeah, so the morbid guy.
Morbid. Let's talk about Morbid, y'all. Like before we talk about why he's here, let's just talk about him in general. Wow. So he like Hispanic? Yes. His accent gives me Hispanic, right?
Right.
He's
okay. His name is Pablo.
Yeah. Pablo Vergara, but he's Brazilian or something. And
that's a real nigga ghost, Tamara.
Great sweat ghost. I like it.
Way off topic, but kind of on topic. I remember watching the first Paranormal, and my cousin was like, "You want to know how the ghost is black?" He said that ghost stayed around the whole time. As soon as the cops got there, you heard them footsteps hit them steps.
Nigga, because I gotta go now. Like now, I guys gotta make these white people like hella crazy,
right?
And maybe and the people that had the conspiracy theory about the ghost, maybe they're not so crazy. When the police showed up, the ghost jetted from the Cecil, and now they look crazy. They was like, it was a ghost told her what to do, and the ghost was like, I done did what I need to do. Not a cops here.
Like, me? Right. Oh, I was hiding on the west side that night. Listen,
talking about. I got alibis, cuz.
Took the back steps to Richard Ramirez. Went out the alley. It was gone. Right, Richard Ramirez went this way, and nobody saw him. I'm good. Let me go.
I'm gonna hit these same steps, right?
Jump over a few crackheads. Here dressed like Insane Clown Posse or whatever.
And Marilyn Manson at the same time. Like he's giving me like it was a lot. Yeah. All of his songs are like about like death and killing and like the video that they showed us was like him like, you know how like cute Instagram couples be like on vacation together where like the girl's up front and she's like doing like this so he can like grab her. It was like that, but like the scary version. So she's running and he's like, and he's doing this like at the camera like to grab at her. Like
it was a lie.
He kills this girl in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He was doing some murders in the video.
He mentioned China and water.
Yeah. Okay, so she died 3 days.
Maybe he watched Dark Water.
Maybe he did. Maybe he recreated Dark Water. Maybe he got off scot-free. I don't know. But 3 days after she died, or 3 days after they found her, I think it was, right? He put a video on YouTube, and the line says, "I want to watch you die in the dark water. I'm thinking China." And you know what I'm saying? It's like,
and then the fucking conspiracy theorists on the fucking thing are like, Elisa was Chinese,
right? Like, no shit.
She died in the water, and that
she died in the water.
He
is a murderer.
You are a murderer, and now we are going to spam you, murderer.
Right.
Murder.
Like, I feel bad for Morbid, but you just experienced what every black man between 5'8" and 6'4" experiences on a daily basis.
You fit the motherfucking description. I'm so sorry. Okay.
He stayed at the Cecil one time and posted a couple of videos of himself in the Cecil. And again, the mob came out. Oh my God. He probably stayed in the room next to Alyssa's, and he definitely killed her. He climbed through the air vents and he fucking killed her.
You know what kills me about people like that is that you're gonna take this man's obsession, which I'm not saying that everybody's gonna be obsessed with.
He's making it healthy.
No, right. But the same motherfuckers that's sitting there like, oh, he did this, he did that. Bitch, you got some dark ass, deep ass shit that you do on the side that don't nobody even motherfucking know about. That everybody would consider is weird. But because this dude is open about his shit and he's making music, and it just so happened to be some shit we don't consider on the cuff. You know what I'm saying?
It's not my jam, right? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not buying Morbid tickets, but you know.
Right. I pride myself in being pretty open to music, but I think Metallica is about where I draw the line with that. Like, I just don't have any interest in like death metal.
Right.
Whatever.
But they immediately.
Which I mean makes sense because you hear the music and you can't hear his accent. So I think he has to do death metal because then, like when he's talking to you regular, you like, what in the same Sosa is this? Like,
listen,
because he got all that face paint on.
It reminded me of in Grown Ups where a dude was like the big ass body built nigga, and the girls were showing off, and he came over there and talked to him. He was like, "I'm Saskatchewan." Like, if you don't get your little tiny voice ass the fuck up out of here.
Yeah,
after all the screaming and shit, I just don't know what I was expecting to come out of his mouth, but I assure you I wasn't expecting that accent to be that heavy still.
Poor Morbid.
Yeah.
We camera cut to him
Pablo
where he's basically Pablo. Look, Pablo is very upset with you motherfuckers that have called on the internet and ruined his career. He can't
get work. Video. Well, when it first happened, he made a video which he obscured his face and his voice, and he's just like, "I'm morbid, and I'm not a murderer."
He had that mask on. That shit was dope.
Like,
the mask was fine. Like, okay,
like you're not Darth Vader, dude. Like, you're not endearing yourself here. Like, this is not what you want to do.
Yeah, you're not helping. You're definitely not helping the situation. Cool mask.
Cool mask, but now you also look like you've probably murdered people for real, and it's concerning. Now people want to know where you live. So these people are nuts. They're absolutely nuts because they find out this man's real name, because that's not information he was giving out. He was going by Morbid on the internet. It was just YouTube videos.
They basically just turned into Twitter people. They just turned to people on Twitter and just fucking found him and ruined his life somehow. Like, that's what people on Twitter do.
I mean, because
they basically started spamming him and shit, and they managed to get his Facebook. So they got his Facebook banned, his Twitter banned, his YouTube channel taken down, and they somehow got his Gmail suspended. Like, I didn't know.
Nigga, Morbid can't even send emails, my nigga. He can't even reply to.
That's the part that had me like blown. They got his email.
Morbid@gmail.com. He can't even use that no more.
Like, what do you say? Who do you contact at Google, and what do you say to be like, I need this person's email taken offline? Like, what do you have to go tell? Like, do you have to tell them they was sending terrorist?
Because he killed Elisa Lam.
Because that nigga know that Elisa was sent there as a biological agent, and he gonna take the Gmail down. Take it.
So when we're introduced, like a lot. Listen, his life going down. Do you hear me? Like, he can't make his music. He can't send people emails from morbid@gmail.com. Like, it's bad. Like, it's bad.
And it, like, when you really think about it too, at the end of the fucking day, even all the way down to John's in between job ass, when it's all said and done, even if like you were the armchair sleuth and you're like motherfucking like embarrassed that you didn't get it right.
Right.
You can go back to regular life. You can just get off YouTube. This nigga Morbid. There's not an unemployment line for
Morbid.
For death metal. And he points that out. In all seriousness, it's shitty. And I think people do not realize that. And the impact that you have. That's what he's saying. Like, people cyberbully people every day, and then you bullied this person to literal death, and then you just log off and say, "Oopsie, somebody want to go to Starbucks," and it's fucked up because
real shit. Y'all ain't ready to know GoFundMe for Morbid. Y'all, I ain't seen nobody.
You niggas didn't sign him to your independent record label.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all wasn't with Morbid shooting in the gym. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all wasn't y'all went in the studio in Mexico making music.
Nigga.
Which, I mean, we're laughing because he's with us and he's alive to sit for this.
Right.
He's he's as fine as a person that got cyberbullied near to death can be, I suppose.
Right. And you got to think about it too. Like, we don't know anything outside of this part, like anything about his life outside of this part of his story.
Exactly.
How it ties into this. And so from what I can tell though, because even when they showed the clip of him walking down the street, he was in full fucking death looking gear, face paint, the fucking guitar on his back. This is something that he does daily. You see what I'm saying? And so I feel like we have to just kind of keeping in the scope of what we're talking about. Like, what if this dude didn't do shit else? What if when he did go home, he went home to 2 kids and a fucking loving ass wife and was the best dad fucking ever? And this is just what he did. I know it's not on the cuff, but you motherfuckers wholeheartedly hunted this man down after every theory you fucking put up just kept getting knocked down. All of a sudden, it's him.
No proof.
Like
no
you
evidence. No
man's
nothing.
life with nothing, but that he stayed at the Cecil Hotel one time, and so
he said China in a song, like
right.
So when they do this interview and he sits with them, he was like, "Yeah, I stayed at the Cecil Hotel. Shit, what, 3 years, a full year before Elisa Lam ever fucking left Canada, and he was there for 3 days. He doesn't even live in America,
right? But
like they didn't do any fucking research. They saw that man at the Cecil Hotel, assumed he was an American citizen, and that he just was frequenting the fucking Cecil Hotel, like just down there every week, just hanging out, having a good time,
waiting for a bitch in a red coat to recreate Dark Water.
Nigga watches Dark Water every day,
walking around the street, it's walking around Skid Row in full face paint, just waiting for the chance to drop a bitch in a red sweater in a water tank. Like
this nigga was eating a Subway sandwich and was like, "Is that a rest? Hey, let me get this to go. Let me get it to go.
He had his Starbucks and his pretzel, like he's in downtown, like a hot dog vendor, and he's like there.
He knocked the homeless nigga over and shit.
Right, he told the vendor, "I'll come back for my change."
Was in the bookstore with his guitar and his fucking full face paint and shit, buying him like a fucking music book on how to play the cello or some shit. Like, see,
right.
Sweater.
Like,
I gotta follow her. What she saying?
But it's important to know, guys, that the way that Morbid looks, niggas would have seen him around Elisa. Is the point?
Thank you.
That's the point. If that man had been in that hotel, somebody would have been like, you know what? Because white people can't help themselves. They cannot help themselves.
You should check the dude with the chunky boots and the fucking face paint.
There was a nigga with platform mule boots that had 75 straps up each boot. And then he had full white face paint, and then it had like black tears. And I think I don't know what he thinks he is. I'm not sure, but maybe he's one of those metal guys or whatever. And I'm not really into that, but he just was really.
Well, what room did he go into, ma'am?
Right. Oh, 11:32.
No, Carol, it was 11:33. I don't listen.
Either way,
he told me that he liked my hair, but that's beside the point. His hair was like really stringy, and he had a lot of split ends. And I know that he's a murderer. I know
because only murderers walk around with that many split ends.
White people get all the facts except this one thing. What was his name? I don't know. I didn't get his name.
I don't know. I didn't really. He talked to me, but I really just didn't say
talk to him.
I just said thank you, and he got out of the elevator, and I didn't really see what floor he got out on.
Because I definitely feel like Morbid is
11:32.
Well, I'm guessing because I'm not really sure.
Because I looked at the wall and the arrow this way saying,
and it said it was like so he's got to be in rooms like 11:30 through like 11:45. I
could hear his boots walking about halfway to the hallway.
And the doors past here, they don't make that click when they close, so it has to be on this side of the hotel.
Like they do everything. They infer some shit. They do everything but just ask the fucking question. Bullshit that you done made up. You hearing shit and shit. Like
career
and if any of these so-called web sleuths had done any investigation, they would have known that that man was not even in the hotel at the same time as that lady. Hell, they had a better chance of saying those two British people that kept drinking the fucking brown water murdered her.
Killed her ass.
That would have been more plausible.
You trying to kill me?
That was a more plausible theory than saying this man that lives in fucking Brazil that was in Mexico in a studio recording killed her.
Nigga.
Hey, listen, if anybody is watching this and you are from Britain, or if you are those two people that just so happen to see this,
shout out to Sabina and whatever his name is.
Shout out. But
Sabina and her normal ass husband who was like, I just be doing whatever because I love her.
I'm from the hood, yo. I'm from the hood. Like, I done been through some gutter shit. Not nan time has brown water ever come out my motherfucking faucet, and I was like, yo, let me get a cup. No, because when brown water come out your faucet, they either working on the pipes in the streets. There's a backup in the sewer some motherfucking way. There's something not right.
Right.
And when you say
I'm not gonna put my toothbrush under it, like
odor, bad taste, bad color. I would immediately think sewage or septic tank. There's nothing in my spirit that would make me keep using that.
And you're going to keep using it. You're brushing, drinking, and bathing in brown.
But I also will reiterate that anytime I've ever stayed in a hotel, I normally make a run to the convenience store and I just have water. Like I
just have bottled water.
Yeah, nobody.
I don't drink.
I've never been. Recently I haven't stayed in a hotel that doesn't offer bottled water. I think hotels even know, like, niggas don't want to drink.
Don't drink tap water. Like, no one should be drinking tap water. Like,
from the bathroom sink because there's nowhere else in the whole. Like, that means you're just drinking the water out of the bathroom sink for no fucking reason. Okay, God bless them. But maybe they do something different. Okay.
So if you're from England and you see this, please let us know if you would drink bathing. Or...
I mean, they eat beans in the morning, so I don't know.
What's wrong with beans?
In the morning?
Well, I want to talk to y'all about potato jackets later. But we'll get
I have no idea. I have no fucking idea.
Something about baked potato and baked beans, and we'll talk about it later. It was a lot. It was disturbing.
Okay.
Look, Penrose is like, "Where's mine?"
Interesting. Tell me more.
What's their cheese? What's their cheese?
All right, I eat candy corn wings. You know I'm interested in this shit.
Okay. So
this kind of we're basically episode 4 now, right? Like,
yeah, we're in 4. We done talked to Morbid. He's like, "Look, y'all damn near killed me, but I'm here. Like Jennifer Martin, I'm still here."
Yeah, shout out to Dre. That's right. But so episode 4 is basically us figuring out what happened.
What they say happened, anyway. That this was an accidental death. Right.
Yeah. Official story.
Okay.
So we get the talk screen shit happening, and again, the web sleuths are with us to tell us that they all read the talk screen because they all are doctors and have MDs and have went to medical school and know all about toxicology, and that is their specialty because none of them have fucking jobs. And so they have all the things to tell us about how the toxicology report is weird and the dates are weird. I just never seen one that looked like this, and I was like, well, how many have you seen?
Real shit.
Like, are you just showing up to the morgue and demanding toxicology reports? Like, enlighten me, sis. Like, I need more background on what you do.
Right. She literally said in all the toxicology screenings I've seen, like, bitch,
what do you do? Where do you go?
What's your occupation?
Doing investigations into deaths and murders and bother them. That is clearly what the fuck they do.
Oh shit.
They wait for people to die and then go pester the fucking.
I don't know one person.
The coroner's office.
Like, that's how you get paid on YouTube.
It has to fucking be, because what other explanations for you to have seen all these fucking toxicology reports to repair to? You either work in
all of the
ones. Unless real shit, like my homegirl, like she flip bodies for the morgue for the FBI and shit, right? And like, so you get to see you privy to just like motherfuckers bring their work home. So unless this bitch had somebody that she was really close to that was just like dropping her off that information they shouldn't have been dropping off, that's the only way. But I mean, and it's a stretch. That probably didn't happen.
That's not, like, I don't know. It's possible she has a source at the morgue, but to say you just
she's saying Elisa's and her dad's.
or her neighbor, her elderly neighbor that passed away in her home. I don't know.
When my dog died, they okay, so
it was just a lot. Like, I'm not saying, listen, it's nothing wrong being a YouTuber or doing web sleuthing or whatever. That's just some wild shit for you to sit up there and just say in your toxicology experience. Like, oh, okay.
Bitch, go home.
Okay. Like, I was going to let you make these little videos and let you make it, girl, but you just overstepped your boundaries. You acting like that other one now. Okay.
So, in all her toxicology history, like, this is the most weirdest one she's ever seen in her life. She can't tell you why it's weird. It's just real strange to her. Like, bitch, because you don't know what to say.
You ever been on camera and got froze? Right. Like, so what do you think about the toxicology report? It's the weirdest one I've ever seen.
I don't know. It's weird.
Out of all the ones I've seen, like, it was the weirdest one.
Like I've never seen a toxicology report like this. Like, you haven't ever seen one.
It's giving me like Trump vibes. It's the biggest, the best. It's the worst. Out of all the toxicology reports.
Oh my God.
The most toxicologist of toxicologists.
But
really, the only thing that we found was that she wasn't taking her medication like she was supposed to be.
So herself says she doesn't do drugs, she doesn't drink, and she feels very special about the fact that she doesn't do those things. And I'm going to take a pause here because I'm very sorry that she's dead, but it don't make you special because you don't drink, girl. It don't make you special. I don't drink or do drugs. Well, girl, listen, maybe if you just took a little of the edge off, just saying.
Oh, man.
I mean, I'm not happy that the girl's dead.
Listen, that sober life shit she had going, and just seemed like she was a little.
It wasn't working. It wasn't working for her.
You were sober and crazy because of all that shit that the people were saying. Again, you know my conspiracy vibes is big, but this wasn't. No, I won't call it crazy. I got people with their own issues in my family, right? So I've seen people do weird shit. I got people in my family that's whatever. So I've seen people do weird shit. Yet I don't know, man. Just like that whole like screaming at the people in the rooms and not letting them back in their own motherfucking rooms and shit. Maybe if you did drink and do a little bit, you might have been chilling.
So let's just kind of.
We're saying. You want to talk about that?
So toxicology report. So we just kind of get to
right. Okay.
So, the guy says that she doesn't do anything, right? She's not drugs, not drinking. She has the appropriate medications that she should have in her system, but they're in very, very low levels. So what this means is that she's under-medicating herself.
Right.
So for those of you who do not take any type of medication, there's over-medicating for people that like have, like an opioid addiction, who are taking medicine for their back, but taking too many pills a day. And so their prescription is not being, they basically like they're taking so many pills that when it's time to like re-up their prescription, they're out like long before it's ever time to do it.
Long before, right.
Elisa is on the other end of the spectrum where she's not taking enough of her medication. Yeah. She's not taking enough of her medication for it to be effective. So she's taking her medication.
If it's saying taking 2 a day, she's taking 1 or she's not, or she's taking it every other day. Like she's not taking it as prescribed.
Yeah.
So basically, when it's time for her to refill her medications, she would have had medication left over, judging by the dates on the pill bottle. So she had been taking if she had been taking it the way he saw it in her system. What we find out is that she's on like 4 different medications. She is not on one medication. She is on 4. She's on at least 2 antidepressants, a mood stabilizer, and an atypical antipsychotic. So
what does that mean?
Basically, what it is that sometimes drugs can be in like, I guess, like sync with other drugs, so you get certain effects from them. So it's not necessarily an antipsychotic on its own, but in the cocktail of other drugs, it is.
Oh, like on the commercials when they be like, "Don't take this if you take blah 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 blah."
Yeah, because it might make you to kill yourself. Listen, for all of y'all that's bipolar, regular bipolar, and I don't want to differentiate, but motherfuckers don't be taking all that shit all the time, I would say. So this lets you know just how deep this girl was into her depressive stage and shit like that. So
what you find with a lot of people that have type of mental disorders or mental illness, if they are taking medication, for a lot of them, maybe one med doesn't work, or they may try something and then it doesn't work for them. Then they try something else.
Yeah.
Right. So it's an ongoing process where your medication constantly has to be tweaked until they figure out what's going to be the best.
Your cocktail. Yeah.
Right. And so for her, the cocktail seemed to be working, but then I think she had a relapse at some point. So then I think maybe at that point she might have not been taking it like she should have.
I wonder if she stopped taking it when she decided to go on vacation, or if it was something that her people weren't realizing before she left. Because
if you stop taking your medication and you look at the time what she was in, before she got to LA, she was in San Diego for what, 3 or 4 days, some shit like that. And so when you think about it, if you did stop taking your medication, maybe, and this is not me trying to be stereotypical, but we do see in a lot of Asian families that live in North America, Canada included, they are very tight knit. You see what I'm saying? To the point to where mom and dad knows what's going on in your life. So maybe people are making sure you're taking your medicine. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's on your head. And she already wrote how she felt about being depressed and things like that. So now you off on your own for this vacation. them couple days in San Diego, that was probably the weaning off time, and it wasn't enough time for you to lose your shit. But now you done went up to LA, you still not taking your medicine. We're at a different stage now in the brain. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
she might have been having a manic episode while she was in San Diego. So she's up, she's happy, she's having a good time, no problems. By the time we get to LA, we're on the opposite. Right.
Yeah, baby. Woo.
So this is when shit manager Amy. This is when she's like, well, I've never said this, but this is what was happening with Elisa. So first of all, before we even get it.
Oh, let's read this. So Tamara says, from what I've seen working with bipolar folks, when the meds start making them feel better, they stop taking the meds because they feel better. Though it's the meds that are making them feel better. That makes sense. I mean, it don't, but I can understand the logic.
Yeah, you think you don't need it anymore. I'm good now. I'm normal.
Instead of realizing that they constantly have to have
you constantly need that shit. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you on 4, you definitely need them. I ain't never seen a motherfucker to take 4 medications and don't need them.
And don't need all 4 of those motherfuckers.
Right.
Listen, my mama take 4. And if she tell me she hadn't picked it up, I'd be like, do you need money or something? Like, what are you spending your money on?
What's going on? Right.
Is the mail late, baby? What's up? Tell me. I need to go down to the post office. Yeah. Like, what you need? Because I'm trying to understand. You out of aspirins or something? What's up? Yeah. Like that, I'm just saying, which I mean, and I think that's the case. Like Primrose is saying, like if you were in a spot where people know you're sick, they're going to monitor you taking your medications. Because it's my mom's a grown woman. I don't check every day, but I also know she's somebody who's had 3 fucking heart attacks and is on a blood thinner and an aspirin and this and that and a cholesterol blocker. So if you tell me you don't feel good today, I'm be like, well, did you take your medicine this morning? That's
the first thing I'm asking. Yeah.
Real shit.
I'm not looking at her every day in her face, but certainly you have people that care about you. They're going to make sure you take your medication. You go on vacation. Because remember, one of the stipulations of her going was that she called every day. And I promise you, it was because those people wanted to make sure she was taking her medicine and that she wasn't having an episode.
Oh, yeah. Now that you said that, that's probably
even this, and this, because the sister towards the, since we are in episode 4, the sister disclosed that, you know what I mean, she would have episodes before if she didn't take her meds. You know what I'm saying?
She had to be hospitalized.
So, right.
I was like, yeah, it wasn't even a situation where they were like, oh, she just had a little temper tantrum. But she had to be hospitalized. She was really sick. Right. And so not taking her medicine was a serious issue.
Right.
Which is why I think it's interesting that which I'm not blaming her family for her disappearance or her death or mental illness or anything, but I think it's very interesting that when the police officer is talking about this, he says, well, I didn't really find out the full extent of her mental illness till much later when the sister came forward. So it's almost as if the parents thought that it would be embarrassing to her or embarrassing to the family to really tell the truth about like, hey, no, she really has like mental health episodes and it's bad sometimes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it could have been that they could have wanted to keep it under the wraps about thinking about how it would make them look or whatever the case may be. And at the same time, I think when as a parent, when you try to decide the difference between keeping the leash tight and letting shit go. If they know she's had these episodes, but now she's grown, you know what I mean? She want to get out there on her own. And like that could have been a thing. That could have been, you know what I mean? So you finally decide to let her get out there on her own, and she motherfucking fucks around and dies, and now you feel horrible. You know what I mean?
Regardless. So I just don't know why but I think it's also one of those things where when she went missing and they didn't know what happened to her, why not just fess up? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not fess up, but certainly why not say something? Because at this point, at this point, she's missing. You're looking for her. You're in LA. You don't know where she is. These people are like, well, maybe she was kidnapped. Maybe she was whatever. You certainly need to tell these people, hey, she's bipolar 1. It's very severe. You found all her medications in her room. She's not taking them. She could be in serious danger or danger to herself. Like they said, she hallucinates and sees stuff. You don't think the police need to know that they have a possible person wandering Skid Row in a dangerous crime area that may be hallucinating?
All right. Real shit.
I'm not blaming them. It's not their fault, but it's like, damn, don't you think that's a good time to tell the cops that this lady might be seeing fucking dragons on the sidewalk?
Real shit. Which going back to the ghost theory, if you're not taking your medicine and something's talking to you, or at least you think something's talking to you, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so really quick.
We'll watch them separately.
Yeah, we watch. Okay, so Tam asked if we watched the docs together. We watched them separately. And we usually don't discuss it too much before. Like we might like if we're watching it, we might like send a text in the group chat, but we don't. We watch them separately.
I think it gives us.
I don't want to be influenced by these motherfuckers. I want to have my own.
Right. So we try. Exactly. Yeah, we could probably watch at the same time, but I don't know that we would compare notes prior.
And we talk all week, so it's not
about other shit. Like
the group chat be lit. Like,
but yeah. So back to Amy and these. So Amy, again, I don't know why the fuck she didn't speak up till the lady's body got found, but whatever. So we find out that, which they talk about, that Lisa gets moved to a different room, but they don't really tell us specifically why she got moved to a different room during her stay. And this is when Amy just kind of was like, yeah, this is it. So she says that she basically was writing physical notes, like sticky notes or whatever, telling these people to get out and go away and whatever, and leaving them on their beds.
All right. So she's having an episode.
Right. Then they leave the room, and then they knock to be let back in, and then she's like, "What's the password?" Like it's a fort or something. Like she didn't let them in the room.
We also know that she had
some TV show.
Yeah. Like what? Like okay, so she went to a taping of some shit, and something she was being disruptive as fuck.
Right.
And she had to like leave, and like she wrote a letter. Like she wrote really into writing. She wrote a note, and I guess they felt it was threatening to the host of the show.
No, she was she kept forcing them to. She was like, "Give this to him now," like trying to go up there and shit. And the fucking security's like, "Blood, you gotta go." But now this also is if we think about it, because that's the same day she died, isn't it? That day, I don't know if it's the hotel room day, but I do think the studio day is the day she dies.
I don't know.
I think so, because I
think so.
Well, I'm not sure,
because we know the roommate things happened before,
right?
Yeah,
but I think she left that taping, and then remember the hotel. One of the workers at the hotel, remember she was seen in an area where only staff was supposed to be,
and then they got rid of her, or they made her leave, and then that's where, and she went towards the elevator.
Hit the 14th floor.
I need somebody to show me what the fuck she had on at that taping. Like now I need to see that. That's the shit y'all should have been doing. Like why didn't y'all find like that?
Who was at the taping with her ass?
Yeah, like y'all over here talking about how you fucking an expert on toxicology reports when you could have been like reaching out to people who might have been at that taping that could have given you some insight. Like
what if you fucked up somebody's love life? What if Morbid was gonna be in town? You know what I'm saying? And somebody was supposed to find love. And y'all
nigga.
Fucked up. Hey, listen,
what if Morbid nigga? Oh,
I hope Morbid, wherever you are, I hope you were having a fantastic fucking evening. I hope you
screaming. I hope you just
death metal the fuck up, right?
I hope they got the baddest face paint these bitches sell.
I want all of that for you. I want all of the rest, nigga.
If there's a Drake song and it needs a death metal goddamn guest,
nigga, you better call Morbid, nigga.
I hope you on it. I hope you making them videos in 4K now, nigga. I hope you out
there. They did you dirty, my dog.
They really did. And then with that shit, what he said, he was like, they ain't even nobody apologized.
Nothing. Ain't nobody reached out to my dog.
Nigga, ain't nobody tell YouTube to let up. Like,
listen, they could have said, "Hey guys, so I reported him, and I am so sorry. Like, I was mistaken."
Come to find out, I was horribly wrong.
Wrong.
He didn't do anything. You could probably just reinstate that. Like, I don't listen or whatever. So, I mean, I just reported him. I don't actually know what he was doing on the channel or anything.
Right.
I seen something today that said white privilege is being wrong about something, but always feeling you're so righteous that you didn't know it was wrong in the first place. You didn't believe that going at this dude was wrong because your point was he did it. And because you felt like he did it, it did not matter what you did.
Yeah.
Even in being wrong.
Yeah.
There's no apologies. Like you said, there's nobody. Whoever got that Google Connect, if you got that much.
If you don't get that morbid@gmail.com back for this nigga.
That's wild. The least you can do is get it back.
I will ask Black Twitter to find your job. Get this man.
That's wild. Back. That's wild that y'all do this.
That's a lot.
Insane. And it honestly just reminds me of that white lady on Twitter where they had to try to get her ass together and she finally just deleted her account. She called CPS on some lady because she had braided her son's hair.
Wow.
She was like, the braids just look really tight. And I thought that was abusive. And it was like, you don't know anything about black people or hair or anything. And you just assume because I braided my son's hair that it was abuse.
Oh, it was her own son's hair, and a lady called because she saw the braids and thought that they were too tight.
The braids, thought they were too tight, knows nothing about braids, and that white woman called CPS on a black lady who had posted a picture of her son's hair.
Wow.
Bitch, is this real?
My mother should have went to jail plenty of times.
I'll try to send it to y'all, but I swear to God,
my fucking brain was nigga.
And here's the thing. The thread where she admitted to that was just a thread of another black lady saying that white people get involved and to try to involve CPS in black people's lives entirely too often, don't know what the fuck they're talking about because there are cultural differences.
Yeah.
And then she offered up, oh, well, that time I called CPS because this lady braided her son's hair. And everybody was like, bitch, what? Record scratches? What?
Right. And why would you even offer that information? Because your privilege says
that you weren't wrong.
Thought that was wrong. I thought it was wrong what she did.
So it doesn't matter that you were wrong. Right. She never said, she didn't say she apologized to this lady, nothing. She just put the people in her life because she thought the braids were too tight.
Man, listen.
That's basically what they did to Morbid.
Y'all live a very different life than the rest of us are living, and that's why you think it's okay to be a web sleuth and ruin lives and make up conspiracy theories about ghosts and shit.
There's many
the rest of it, maybe. The ghosts.
Yeah, the ghosts.
Y'all live wild lives. Y'all just be making up shit. No proof, no evidence, just fucking vibes and a fucking blue microphone.
That's it.
And a blue snowball microphone. Just buys a camera and a blue and an iPhone and
And what furthers VJ's point is as we progress through episode motherfucking 4, we get to the point where the cops pretty much admit defeat, but go about doing so by saying it was an accidental death. And you watch web sleuth after web sleuth after web sleuth after fucking web sleuth say, well, damn, maybe I did miss this. Well, I can't see how this, and I can't, you know what I mean? You motherfuckers wholeheartedly went through all of this, and just because they say it's accidental death, fuck Morbid's career, fuck just anybody that you put on blast.
That you had to go through.
Yeah. And to John, I told y'all, somebody from the fucking documentary always sees our shit. John, I hope you see this, brother. I really do. My name is Penrose, and I operate from a space of love at all times. Always love in my house. So jump back and kiss yourself. Yet, brother. How dare you, my nigga, attempt to even get an amount of shine off of this young girl's death? I feel so connected to her.
He was crying.
Dog. I couldn't touch the grave. This nigga said I had to send somebody else to her grave. He was that distraught. My nigga, you never laid eyes on this young lady. It's okay to be empathetic and sympathetic and attached to the human soul and love just out of a space of love. But my nigga, that is not what this was. And you were disgusting in how you dealt with this young lady's death.
Very gross.
Was, died or murdered or whatever you want to call it. She was a real person with a real family with real emotions who lived a real fucking life. And the bottom line is none of you had any goddamn business moseying down to the Cecil Hotel trying to dissect this girl's life for fucking clicks on YouTube. Like you did. Which we're having a conversation about a documentary, but none of us would have ever been like, "Ooh, dead body," and then like went running in the direction of one to try to make YouTube videos about it. It's gross. It's gross. It's very gross. And for these people to sit there and say, "Oh, well, we hope for a different outcome, and we're just so connected and so sad about Elisa," and she's really do. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's a mental illness. Like y'all got a
and that's my thing too. When you say you expected, you hoped for a different fucking outcome. What outcome after you found out she was fucking dead? Yeah, we all wanted to find her alive, but after you found out that she is dead,
wanted Morbid to go to jail, nigga. Yes, they wanted Morbid to go. You wanted something terrible, like for real terrible. Like not even taking away from the fact that the situation is a very tragic ending. Like however the fuck it happened. Very sad. but like you wanted something malicious to happen to her. Like you wanted somebody to have violated her body. Like they even said when the reports came back and they did a fucking sex kit or whatever on her, the rape kit on her, they didn't find anything, but like that doesn't mean somebody didn't. Like what the fuck is?
They wanted exactly for her to be mutilated so badly.
They wanted some gory, gross shit to happen to her.
Because that's basically what happened. Wanted to find the fucking truth. And again, like the cops said, there has been some web sleuths that have added to investigations and helped. But at the same time, let the cops ask for your help or come to you motherfuckers. Again, shout out to Morbid. Shout out to just like fuck you, Amy.
Amy, you're a
dusty bitch.
Yeah. A real dusty bitch. Like she really like in every like instance, she really did her very best to try to make that shit about her, and that's
every time. Like
when they found like Amy in the water tank, get the fuck out.
Like and people, all the people were gross. All the people thought it was so gross that she was in the water for all those days. But how do you think it makes me feel? Bitch, I'm sure you wasn't drinking and brushing your teeth with that shit.
You don't live there. Like, why the fuck?
You went home every night.
You drank bottled water.
And brought fucking Starbucks and have fucking core water and all of that shit. Like, don't do that. Like, let's not do this.
So the official story. Wow. The official story that the police give, I guess, if we want to go there.
We'll talk about the official, and then we'll say what we really think. Right. For sure.
So the official story that the police give is that they basically feel like Elisa drowned, right? Which reasonable. No complaints there.
No complaints there, right?
So basically, they feel like Elisa was having a psychotic break, which probably. So they feel like she's having a psychotic break, and because her sister finally came forward and said, "Yeah, when she just take her medication, she sees stuff. Like she has these breaks where she feels like she gets paranoid. She feels like she's being followed. She feels like she's being chased by things that none of us can see but her." So they feel like she was having a psychotic break. She was running from something or something she thought or perceived threat in her mind. She runs up to, if you want to say the stairs, or she took the fire escape, whatever you want to say. She got to the roof somehow, decided to hide in the water tank, climbed up the ladder, jumped into the water tank, didn't have a way back out, and just was stuck treading water until she eventually drowned. They think that maybe she had hypothermia or at some point took her clothes off because they were heavy and wet, and then maybe she thought she would float better. I'm not entirely sure on that part, and I don't think they are either.
Right.
And they just think that she's drowning. That's how, and they just did not find her when they swept the roof. But again, they didn't check the water tanks. So I'm just like, why the fuck would you not check the unlocked water tanks? Which then Amy then points out to us because Elisa's family sues the hotel.
But right. Basically, wait, before we get there, when they flew over and showed all those cops on the top of the roof the first time, all those tanks was closed. Remember, they did an aerial flyover. They showed that shot in the first two. Those tanks was closed. So, and it just not even talking about fucking Santiago and all that, but just talking about what we're talking about right now. Like, yeah, why didn't y'all? The unlocked tanks at that, like you said, unfucking locked, my nigga, because they're 20 fucking pound lids. Nobody's just going up there just like, hey.
And she definitely couldn't have closed it on herself.
No, sir. So,
but anyway,
if it was closed when they found her, then somebody dropped the ball because there's no way she closed the tank. That little bitty ass. I saw the video. Yeah. That little bitty ass girl couldn't close that tank. And again, as they said, once you jump in, the water level is such that if you're floating,
you can't get back to the top.
Yeah, and there was no hinge. If it was a hinge, you can almost make me believe it because you can.
Yeah, if it went like this,
yeah, but sure. There was no hinge
because like the wind could have blew really hard and dropped it down. Anything, but this is like a Lego piece almost. It fits in like it. Come on now, I can't. Right. But anyway, so her parent or her family sues the Cecil Hotel basically for saying like, okay, we understand that it was accidental drowning, but why the fuck were y'all tanks unlocked? Why is it so easy to get to your roof?
Right.
And basically, you guys were responsible for this person that was taken to your hotel. Episodes and there was instances where you guys experienced that something was wrong, and basically this happened on your watch. Unfortunately, they lost.
They did.
The hotel basically says, hey, the hatches were unlocked, but there's no legal precedent or ordinance that requires that you lock the hatches on your water tank, which is fair.
True.
But I think that it again is kind of like a nuclear power plant or something to that effect. Like they said, they have signs saying that, it should be, authorized personnel only. They have alarms on the doors. There really should be no reason for you to be on the roof.
Anyway.
And then people are like, well, and then again, she made a valid point. The fire escape, I can't put alarms on the fire escapes because they have to be easily accessible. I can't make the fire escape authorized personnel only. It's a fire escape. The point is for you to be escape fire. So I can't put any regulations on how that works. Like you are supposed to only use it for fire. That's the point.
But who escapes a fire to the roof?
When there's a thing.
Like
then what?
Right, you're gonna die anyway.
So when buildings burn, when buildings burn, you never know. And so I think some of the higher levels, it makes more sense to send you up than to try to see if you're on the 14th floor and 16 is the top. It makes more sense to send you up 2 than down.
I feel you.
13 and hope you get there.
I can hear
I'm not saying
it.
Which I don't think they do that now. I'm not entirely sure. I've never lived anywhere with a fire escape, so I don't really know how that works. But that is my assumption from reading about some kind of older cases that involve fire. That sometimes they do send people to the roof, but it's not common. Who knows? But yeah, they lose because they say that shit is marked. It was no reason for her to be on the roof. Fire escape or no fire escape. Now, I will say I don't believe that those alarms on the doors work because them motherfuckers was running around the hotel loose as a goose with their selfie sticks.
Nigga.
All right.
And I ain't hear not one alarm go off.
And what they said, it was beer bottles up there. The one girl was like, these fingerprints and this dust is fresh. Like, you tell, like, somebody was just up here. Like, come on, man.
So they're either going up the stairs or going up the fire escape. So that's not the first time. So it would lead me to believe that at that point, you have to make a conscious decision. Would be like, oh, it's graffiti and shit up there. So you don't think that maybe
people be up there?
Yeah,
I mean, right. I understand about the fire escape, but then somebody needs to be there. Like somebody needs to be up there.
Like, which means if you have motherfuckers on your roof, you would need to lock the water tank.
Yeah. If you can't stop niggas from going up there, the least you could do is keep them from opening up water tanks, right? Because and then they brought up a good point, like a fucking unlocked water tank, people could just drop shit in it.
It could contaminate the entire water supply for the hotel.
You just drop a dirty diaper. You just drop a dirty diaper in it.
Yep.
Everyone could be dead by the next morning. Like somebody could just be on some weird biological. Like we talking about somebody walking around. Yeah, we can talk about motherfuckers just walking around the street waiting to murder. What about the motherfucker that's just walking around the street waiting to drop some biological shit in there and be like, I'm gonna start a terrorist attack. I'm gonna murder everybody at the Cecil Hotel. Like,
you heard what Dave Chappelle said. The cops say, sprinkle a little crack on him.
You see why I did that?
You don't never know. And that's unfortunately that is the human condition, right? Like people say, well, that's obvious. They should know. They should know. But also
clearly
to keep yourself from getting sued, maybe you ought to just put some locks on some shit. That would make the most sense.
Real shit. Shout out to the people who bought the hotel and fired Amy's ass. I just had to say that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Did she get fired? I thought she said
I
she
don't
quit.
know. Hopefully,
her bitch ass probably did say she quit, but I'm telling everybody. Everybody said Morbid killed Elisa. I'm telling the fucking internet that her Amy ass got fired.
Real shit.
I agree. And so they asked. So we get a party shot, right? They asked Amy why she didn't call the police. Amy brings up a valid point, and I hate to give her that, but it's Skid Row in the middle of downtown LA. And they probably
the cops are busy is what basically
the cops are busy, and she has to call them out there multiple times a day anyway. And like she said, a lot of times you call and they don't
come.
So if she would have called, if she would have called 911 and said, I have a hotel guest here who is yelling about being crazy, and she was leaving notes on the other people's bed, but she doesn't have any weapons or anything.
That just sounds like another person on Skid Row, right?
Yep. It just sounds like a person that's having a psychotic.
And if we just not really go all the way back, but the whole point that this is Skid Row is because containment was a legal fucking thing, and so 90% of the people that were there were either drug abusers, homeless, or mentally gone at some point to some degree without getting the right mental help. So this is something that is a normal thing. It's almost like if you see somebody getting stabbed in the middle of the Cecil and she don't call the cops, you could probably blame her for that. But in the sense of what Skid Row was made to be and where the Cecil exists in the history it has, somebody screaming in the fucking lobby is a daily thing. And that's sad in the sense of what the story that we have and what in the documentary we're talking about and what it resulted in. But
right, because if she would have stayed somewhere like if she'd have stayed at
what?
Y'all didn't hear that?
No, nigga, what?
I nigga Alexis just started talking to me for no fucking reason, bitch.
No. No, but I was saying if she'd have stayed like the Comfort Suites or something like. I mean, if she'd have just stayed anywhere that wasn't the Cecil per se, where it's not a transient population, it's not them dealing with mental illness, it's not them dealing with whatever. Then if she'd have acted erratic like that and had been running around the lobby screaming, they would have called the police and been like, "No, I need you to come get this person because they are acting very erratically," and the police would have come and gotten her.
Right.
Facts.
Because that's not something that happens there. But she basically was just a perfect storm. She was just somewhere where the police were never going to be called unless she stabbed somebody in the fucking lobby anyway. And they damn near were going to take their sweet time coming for that. They'd have been like, "So is it life threatening?" No.
Are
they bleeding out?
Okay.
Right. How loud are the moans?
All right. So basically, that's it, guys.
That's it, guys. Yep.
What
I mean, Cecil.
Yeah, as I said, they closed the Cecil. It's supposed to be reopening, I guess, as a brand new something.
Half low income, isn't it? Luxury hotel.
Yeah,
that sounds just like the Cecil Hotel and Stay on Main to me. But
he does. God bless him. I don't know how that's gonna work out. But good luck.
Isn't this something like Indian burial ground, like where like you just shouldn't maybe keep building on that? Like,
yeah.
I mean, but I think the way it's contracted, like they have to have it be low income housing, and that's the problem.
Right? No,
but
they definitely do,
but it's just like it's you need to have some type of fucking regulations or something.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, it's one thing to if motherfuckers are low income, that's fine. Like, live here, my nigga. But here's a fucking list of things you cannot do, or you can get the fuck up out of here. Like, and I feel like Amy O click clacking ass whole time she was talking about how she was running that shit the best of her ability. I don't feel like that you were like because you had an opportunity.
No, I feel like she was just
trying to like.
Amy the dope boys was paying Amy to let them pump out of there. She ain't fuck who live there. Not gonna
Amy didn't give a fuck that people still living there. They threw some paint and some orange paint and some orange bedspreads on one half and was running the hospital. Wait, but no, did y'all see that little screenshot where they popped up on the little fake Expedia?
Expedia,
it was like 3 nights for $125, and I was like,
Ew. All right.
That's too cheap.
Baby, I don't know what y'all doing in Canada, Lisa, but that's not okay. Like,
that's not something. No,
unless you got some discount codes, Bookie, you don't do that anyway.
So basically,
that work there can't get you 3 for $125.
Nigga, not at all. And if they, they can't. If they can, they don't have a job when you get there.
You feel me?
So before we go,
work here anymore.
What do y'all think happened to Elisa? Because I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theory person, so I'm just gonna be like, look, I really feel like there's some lingering questions, but for all intents and purposes, I think it's just a sad story where a sad, sick person who wasn't taking their medication climbed into a water tank and died. But y'all may see it differently, and I'm curious to hear.
I believe that she was a person that should have been taking more meds than she was. I believe that the elevator, I can watch the elevator scene and now think that yes, she was probably having a panic, like she was having a fucking episode. I could totally see that. I just, you niggas can't sell me on she hopped in the water tank. I feel like maybe she could have met somebody. It might have even been. Could it have even been? I don't want to say this, but like, could it have been one of the roommates? Like,
they moved.
Like, right? But they could have saw. She could have saw him in the hallway.
You mad? You know what I'm saying? And yeah,
like,
Yeah.
Can't nobody make me feel like she jumped into the water tank and then closed the top on perfectly.
Right.
Well,
Somebody else
was
odd.
So
somebody else was there.
If it was really on and that's how they found it on, then I would absolutely believe that. But I also am just like, what, did you not dust it for fingerprints? And you're telling me you didn't come up with a single
It seemed like all they dusted was
her
decomposed
body. Come on,
I was
man.
like, so I mean, if nothing else, even if I'm willing to accept the official story that they're giving for right now, it seems like at the very least, they did very shoddy police work. So at the very least, they fucked up. So it's hard to say whether it's a conspiracy or if she really, it's difficult because it seems like her bipolar was a contributing factor to her behavior, but it may not be the reason she ended up in a water tank either, or it could be.
Or it could
Who knows? But they didn't do a good enough job to be able to
figure it out to make me feel anything. Yeah, exactly. I hear you. Yeah, so what you say?
That it was, you asked me, of course, the conspiracy theorists in me want to say they planted a biological agent in there. But the real nigga in me honestly says she was having a manic episode. And somewhere in her transition between getting told to get out of that area and making it to the roof, she ran across somebody that either A, did not realize she was having a manic episode, or was not giving a fuck. And I'm not saying they were trying to be malicious, this, that, and the third. Somebody just contributed in a way that they did not know this is what was about to happen. And they didn't come forward because it is the Cecil. If you don't come forward, you're probably not going to get found out. And they probably freaked the fuck out. So I honestly think that she got in that. She didn't put herself in that water tank. And if she did hop in on her own accord, she's not the one that removed or put that lid back on there. She was running.
They should have dusted it for fingerprints because I don't believe a motherfucker in the Cecil is committing crimes and then wiping the fucking lid off the water tank, wiping all the prints off, or wearing latex gloves so there are no prints.
Yeah, all the way up the
ladder. We didn't find any prints. We dusted every surface.
You're a fucking liar. It's because you niggas went up there touching shit. Right. You ain't dust nothing. That's because them niggas was up there touching shit with their bare hands. But anyhow.
That's gotta be it. Okay,
so guys, so we figured we solved the fucking vanishing. We might have solved what happened to her. I don't know. I think the next one we'll do. We spin a wheel, so I don't know if it'll be episodes or not. But if it is, I think we've all decided that we'll just have to go weekly. Yeah, so we can make sure we get you guys the stuff out on better timing
in a efficient manner. Well, not even efficient, but timely. Anyway.
All right, so. For intensive purposes, I'm Chris. That's VJ. That's Penrose. This is all docked up.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
Oh, wait. Oh, I did not mean to do that.
Oh.